I say, oh, Papa. Papa Joe Feliz. I said, Présidente Gay Marie. Tante Philippe. Docteur Bayeto. C'est à Marcel.
Good evening, good evening. Welcome. I'm Afonso Zian, sort of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. Today is Friday, thank God. TGIF, this is Friday. Well, please forgive my voice. The voice is kind of a little bit horrible here. Something to send a call to me here to stop me from coming here, but it was an interceptor. Good evening. Welcome, Diana, and to welcome our prime time valuable listener, Mr. Wilson Boyle, Ali Ukromant, and the rest of the people. Gerund, welcome. In the interest of African solidarity, taking you to neighboring La Côte d'Ivoire here this evening. Welcome to the show. And here comes Simeon to Zulu in the house. Good evening, and welcome, Dan and Toronto. Good evening, welcome.
So,
we're right in La Côte d'Ivoire this evening, right?
So,
I see Andrew marching on, leading the Grand March this Friday evening. If you don't understand the music, just ask any of your crown friends. They're going to give you the interpretation of it, right? Or just listen to the beat and rock your legs, you know? What a beautiful way of starting the program this evening. Lpr-Tv Live with the panelists. Let's go. Oh man, I want to go to Grand Judah here this evening. Oh, let's put our hands together and build Liberia. One hand can pick a lasso, say type parable people, right?
Papa Pio George. Mama, you know,
let us work together. So we'll work for the country. No division, no separation. It has to be done jointly, so says the songwriter. Oh, man. This song contains a message, and this is why I love this song. Good evening, to welcome to the show. Very shortly, we'll get this program going. Good evening, welcome to the Liberia Public Radio. I am Afonso Zienso right here. This evening time check is 8:05 Eastern Standard Time. Welcome to this Friday editions of Lpr-Tv Live with the analysts, contributors standing by to be joining the conversation here this evening, and you as our prime time valuable listeners and followers. Thank you for your commitment to this network and all that you do. By just showing all here, it just tells us exactly what you stand for and what you see happening to your country. This is Lpr-Tv Live. The panelists will still be joining me here. Hopefully you're having a great and beautiful time wherever you are. You're here in the USA, in Liberia, Asia, whatever you are, following this podcast. By the way, you can subscribe to us. If you have functions, let us know. We have the capacity to showcase. If any other person don't even want to pay attention to you, we do, because this is a public network. The nomenclature, the name is to reflect what we do and what we strongly believe. Liberia Public Radio. This is why we are not selective. We don't have to bring senator here. We don't have to bring representative here. We don't have to bring an advocate. We don't have to bring any politician for that matter before we have our conversation. What we do, we strongly believe in the Liberianization policies and to empower Liberians and give them the information, not just any information, but information that is meant to make them to make informed decisions. And that's what we do. And this is why we make the conversation proportional here. We are not judgmental. We give people the room to make their case or kick the can down the road. I am Afonso Zienso. Good evening. Welcome. This is Lpr-Tv Live. Well, very short later, my guys going to be joining me here. And we will be having a wide range of conversation. As you know, a lot is unfolding in the West African state of the Republic of Liberia ahead of the 2023 presidential and two other major elections. What is going on? Let's take a rendezvous across the country and see what is happening. According to France 24, Ivory Coast and Ghana boycott Cocoa Foundation meetings over price dispute. Ooh, boycott. That's not a good thing. Ivory Coast and Ghana, the boycott the Cocoa Foundation meetings over dispute of price. So I guess the price on the world market is not looking good. So you know what the producer said? No, this is not to our taste. It's not bringing in dividend to the country. Bump it up a little bit, pump up the volume a little bit, add more cash. Then we'll sit around the conference. Sometimes you have to make some high core demand in order to give room for honest conversation. Now you see, in major conferences, is all over the place. World leaders and oppositions or factional groups in other countries, sometimes they walk out. They are doing it so that they will demand and that they will be listened to. It's been done on purpose to meet their grievances or to pay attention. So Cote d'Ivoire, I recall say, you know what, the price doesn't satisfy us. It's not doing good to our economy. We are not being treated fairly. I'm just pondering around here with limited information just from the news cap and say, look, we're not going to go there until they listen to us. Cameroon tackle plastic pollution. Recycling setup turned trash into treasury. Oh, recycles pollution. Look at our country, look at other places. You don't just throw things away. I mean, people, technology has enhanced so much. So things, the recycle, these things can be used for different things. Do we have the capacity? Are we doing that as well? Ethiopia's Tigray conflict. Amnesty International accuses all party of abuse. Amnesty International is a major high human rights advocacy group. So you look at the government, the oppositions, the rebel, you know that one of the country, I remember when we were much younger and smaller, not knowing what we're doing. We're taking this, and many of you will be a testimony, and if you want to confess like myself this evening, you are at liberty to do that. We thought rebel thing was like a thing. So now we used to look at him, look at her, look like Ethiopian rebel. Look at him, malnourished like an Ethiopian. We didn't know the consequences and how conflict or rebel strike, the aftermath, what we experienced. We had no idea. We didn't know that. We thought we were doing this mongering and doing a sort of stereotyping. And most of the time, sometimes it's out of ignorance. That's what was happening. Well, my analysts, they are coming, and I'm telling you, they're going to be fascinating. They're going to be a conversation here this evening because we don't have no belay on this network here. I'm telling you, people with hair on their shoulder, smart, scholars, engineers, but he's so horrible. Nobody knows where he stands as the liberal progressive. What is going on? Let me see here before I can bring in my guest here. What is Afonso's take here today? A new safe haven, political safe haven in Liberia. The sanctioned Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, Nathaniel Falomagui, the political resurgence of former Minister Nathaniel F. Magui, a new political shelter in Mount Gibby County. You know, that one thing I know, the country is so, I mean, the world is so diverse. Somebody old thing, that's somebody new thing. If you reject, other people can take it. And that's what we're going to be having here. But what is the implications of all of that? To everything, there is a big political consequence. What am I watching and wondering and spinning my hair to know now maybe my analyst is going to have here. I didn't hear that, or probably I jumped over it, so I'm not going to make a definitive conclusion on that. Which party is he going to align with? Is he going to be with CDC? Is he going to be an independent? Now he had accepted. So let me go to Twin City, Minneapolis, where I'm going to be bringing our senior contributor and analyst. He's an educator, scholar, Sister Goyle. He's here, and we're going to be bustling it right here visibly. Hopefully, Jonathan, Amos, George, the link is all out there. The liberal progressive is all here. But let me bring in Sister. He says here because this is a quite interesting one here. Let's see how they got to this point. Mount Gibby, is it a safe haven now? So anybody to do, you go to Mount Gibby, you get what? You get a place. But let's see here. Let me bring in Sister Goyle. He's standing by here. Legendary Sister Goyle, senior contributor and a scholar himself. Good evening. Thank you for all of your work. Coming from school, we don't allow you to rest, but still you're here. That's another unique way of giving back to your country, my dear.
And I got a wedding that I'm taking part in tonight. Is the groom's whatever, bachelor eve. but I told her I got to do my show before I go there. So
Can't fight. The wedding that will be going to there, some of them will be from there. At the end of the day,
he said, "Man, they probably me they can't finish." I said, "No, I gotta wait till I finish my thing before I come to your place." So how you doing, Mr. Lewis? It's always nice to be on with you, man.
Okay, Sister, good evening. Thank you for popping. Yeah, man. After all, too much of work with play make Jack a door boy, man. Those guys, they're crazy, driving you crazy. Friday evening, chill out. Tomorrow, no school, nothing. So, okay, but let's do what we love doing. Good evening and welcome.
How are you doing, Mr. So? Appreciate it. Good evening
All right,
to you.
thank you so much.
How's the weekend prep going with you?
Yesterday or whatever, some sort of crazy cold, but I believe it was something too. By the time I talked to him, my nostrils and everything throat was kind of like, hey, oh man, how can I finish talking to you? You know, African man, and nothing happened for nothing. But by the grace of God, we're okay. We're not going to allow anything to hold us back. Too much is ongoing. And our people, we got to keep our people in the loop. They need to be informed and be part of the conversation. But how is your end? I learned there's a big what? This Russell, there's a lot of activities going on in that place there as well.
Winfrey Russell, council member Winfrey Russell is running for Brooklyn Park mayoral seat. And just to be fully open, I fully endorse him. I've been out there door knocking. I am planning on going door knocking with him again on Sunday. So let me just use this. I don't know how LPR will use this, but on Sunday, if you want to come out,
everybody get it.
I'll be out there in Brooklyn Park. If you're in Brooklyn Park, come out, man. Let's go door knock. Let's go enjoy some political action for our brother.
Yeah, I reached out to this guy. What's the other brother name?
Mike Elliott.
Yeah, Raleigh's, I think one of the guys.
Oh, Hollis. Yeah, Hollis is the is the guy that is running against Winfrey Russell.
Really?
Right. He's been endorsed by Michael Gilman and the CDC stock. You know, they've decided to make it like they're against Winfrey Russell because Russell is always pointed out. You know,
the last time around again, it was there, and Gilman went bitterly against one of the contenders.
It was again Winfrey. It was Winfrey Russell again.
Oh, really?
Yep. It was 2 times now. He's going against the Liberian guy that's running because they think that the guy does not speak too well of the Liberian government, and so they decided to make it a CDC thing. I don't know, however thing they think they got power, but they're done. But you know, everybody try to think that they have some authority, some political authority, right? Like somebody like a Michael Gilman can endorse somebody and they win the election in Brooklyn Park. You know,
this is US, man. Come on, they're not just even if we're like one community. The people talk on issue. They know who they're going. They're not just going to blindfold their eyes and say.
But the problem is, who know you and what authority do you have on issues that somebody will defer to you or you telling them who do? Because when you endorse people, Mr. So what you're telling people is that you know me, I'm putting my character down, I'm putting my intellect down, that I want you to defer to me. Right. That the decision that the analysis that I've made, that I'm correct, that you would defer to my judgment and vote for the guy that I'm telling you to vote for. That's a lot of weight that comes with that. So, what authority? What do you know? Who think you know something that they're deferring on your judgment? You know. But in our Liberian community, we have these inflated egos and inflated personalities. So you know, we all think we can do something. But that's a whole different conversation, anyways.
Yeah, I was hoping to talk to her. When is that election? It's in Super Tuesday, right?
It's November 8th. November 8th is the election. And I will be seeing Winfrey tomorrow. I will talk to Winfrey and I hope he makes time to appear.
Yeah, definitely. We can squeeze up something some kind of way. I mean,
there is also the incumbent mayor in Brooklyn Center, Liberian guy who's out for re-election, also Mike Elliott. So I will reach out to the both of them and see.
Yeah. And I mean, the strategy of that, not necessarily all us as oh my goodness, this conversation is about to derail this evening. Oh boy. Oh man.
Bloku showing face, eh?
Bloku is showing face. Oh man, been there. He had to give up. I care you proud of doing. Oh, I hope you're not hearing me.
They have to die.
Yeah, you have to die. Okay, so all right. I hopefully he not hear me. The most liberal progressive on this. Good evening. We're just talking some great things about you. I'm not hearing you. You know the flower now.
He's so excited.
I'm not going nowhere. You people and myself, foot to foot.
Look at him.
It can be 45. I can be right now. And in fact, me and my first son, we're about the same age. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going nowhere. You can all you want to do. I'm not going nowhere.
All right. Well, we need your wisdom. We need you around. Even though sometimes you're a pain in the neck, but what to do, man? No bad bush for a child. We got to keep you around here.
That's right.
Okay, the Liberal, good evening and welcome.
Good evening. Good evening. Thank you. Good evening, Sister. Thanks for being here as well.
Yeah. Look, I am blown off. I'm blown away. The politics in Liberia now is getting to be more interesting and interesting. I'm not sure who is going to benefit and how it's going to play out. Who is he aligning himself with? Which political institution? We do know he's a hardcore. He's a live wire. Oh, okay. I think Sister he's doing something. Maybe it's on purpose. His phone is muted. But he is out of the wood. The Nathaniel Fallow McGee. Today, officially, we can say, the political resurgence of the former Minister Nathaniel F. McGee, new political shelter in Mount Gibby County. So this is quite interesting right now. Politics, look, and somebody say politics is not a little child game, but I'm watching keenly how this is going to play out. Is he going to contest as a CDC? Is he going to go as an independent? Is he being caught in political crossfire? I have no idea, but we cannot say it is official. After heading to Bapolo, the road was rocky, no paved road. Went to Bond County, heavily contested. Some remnants said no, we can't do it, even though you told us when you do XYZ, any money in the year, yeah. And after a long fight, conversation behind the scene, just shoot this courtesy of our sister network, and then it will lay the basis of our conversation here this evening. Let's watch and see, and we will have a discussion.
And the President George Manuel, we are.
Elders, the people of Mount Gibby County, yay! I accept your petitions. I must say I want to be senator for Grand Gita County, if need be. You know what I mean to be senator? Okay, gentlemen, on a serious note, speculations, apprehensions, all been put to rest today. Peaceful settlement. The crowd looks impressive. We don't know what I'm going to translate into vote. That's a different conversation, but in itself. But let us squeeze the lime here and see whether we can get some juice out of this whole thing here. Hey, he was sanctioned. The sanction didn't say it done context, but we all know the implications, some of the things entangled with sanctions and all of that. What is going on here and how will this play out? Let me start with the Liberal Progressive. He is always on the other side of the wall. Let's bring in the guy from the far right. Amos George is also in the house. More interesting. The Liberal Progressive.
Mr. So, thank you very much. That clip is repulsive, to be honest with you. But then again, I guess my own feeling all along about my guilt is quite wrong. This guy is very selfish. He has no interest in.
Why he did his stuff like that? Are you there? Are you? What happened? We're not hearing you.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that.
Was that me? No.
Well, the central right just came in, and you and he always have some kind of secret going.
Always hold people
The
responsible.
man just came in right away. I got kicked out, but then again, I got no.
That's a mosaic working. The mosaic.
Here we go.
Working.
There we go. CIA from Israel on me tonight.
Okay, go ahead.
No, but what I was saying, no, on a very serious note, when this sanction situation happened, I was one of those here on this platform was Ice King McGill from the beginning, and his colleagues to resign and save the president some headache. For a very long time, they stuck it up. The president was not somebody who will be willing to fire you, especially if you're that close and trusted friend at that rate. And finally, the issue now, I do believe the reason why McGill and his people resigned because the president was coming to the United States. It has nothing to do with integrity. It has nothing to do with proving yourself not guilty or clearing your name. It pretty much have to do with the fact that the president was coming to the United States. Why will McGill try to put his fingers in the eyes of the United States? These are most of your compatriots, most of your citizens in our country. They're all here in the United States, educating themselves, working, and the remittance alone from this country sustain your government. If it wasn't for the money sent back from the Liberians in the diaspora, you won't have no rest. You won't even have a place to sleep. Because people will be hungry, and when they're hungry, they're going to find food. You will not be able to run anything in our country. But because of the way the brothers and sisters from Liberia send money home to calm things down, this is the country that we all live, work, and get family here. You think these people are going to let this man, let him come and be represent senator? The reason why Prince Johnson is in there, and then these people are not taking serious. Let Prince Johnson try and say he going out of the country, go to Europe and things like that, and see what will happen. So he McGill, as an educated person, somebody who considers himself a true patriot of the Republic of Liberia, why you continue to fool the people? What contribution, even if you're a senator, what contribution can you make except to take money illegally, for which the people have accused you of? Are you trying to prove to the United States that they even though you sanction me, but my people love me? It has nothing to do with it. These are people that are there every day, Mr. Soul. The United States government is involved with the war.
Let me hold you 1 second. Dr. Toto is here. Let me just bring him in and we can carry on. Okay. Good evening, Doc. Welcome.
Yeah, good evening, gentlemen in studio.
Everybody
feel also bright.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope they don't do me what they don't do you what they did to me here. So. Anyway, no, on a very serious note. So for him to do this, these people are watching. What exactly you're going to get? America is involved with the international community in whatever decision they make that will affect Liberia. America is at the forefront. America is involved in anything you do in our country. Your money, even your own printed money, is tied in with America. The car you put down is tied in with America.
Let's spin it around here. Don't let your cholesterol.
So let me end on this, please. For him to do what he's doing here, it's not only detrimental to Liberia itself, but to the young Liberians who are trying hard to educate themselves and are still hoping to see light somewhere in Liberia, that they will be able to migrate back home and help. He's shutting the door.
Okay. All right. Shutting the door. Let's see what Sissy Goya will open that door. Let's paint it around here. Look, Sissy, for long, we were all in speculations, wondering this guy political future, and everybody was thinking that his political future comes to an end. But remember, he has this code named Pumpkin Pound. All right. We know what Pumpkin Pound is. As a village boy, I know exactly why it is. Yeah, he is. So what I'm wondering, where is his political cap will be placed? Is it going to be going as a sedition? He's going to be going as an independent? Where his commendation? And if he's not going as a CDC, but remember, if you go further down in that tape, he said his vote is not just a vote, it's the vote to re-elect President George Weah. So there seems to be a political nub here, something somewhere, maybe off camera, is taking place. You are from the opposition. If you see this happening here, what does it suggest to you how politics is being played in Liberia?
I think we misunderstand the definition of politics. What's happening in Liberia is not politics. It's nonsense. It's plain, pure and simple. And by the way, the porcupine is now living in the zoo. It has been captured and it's no longer in the wild. So the porcupine brigade has been dismantled, and now this is just in the zoo, in the cage where people go to see it. You see the porcupine, the way he looks right now compared to 6-7 months ago. Yeah, you can tell he's living in captivity. But having said that, you know, McGill is not. I mean, yes, he was sanctioned by the U.S. government, but he is not the first in the line of criminals running to the people's house to hide. I mean, Fonate Kofa, for example, got a long rap sheet here in the United States. He is now deputy speaker of the House. At one point in time, he had J. Ketakume Mori as representative, who was wanted here by the FBI for indecent exposure and sexual contact with a minor. And we elected him in Liberia in the House. And so I think McGill is just trying to think that he can find a shelter in the House. But what is different now is that I think McGill has not been reading history lately. Remember when the U.S. Embassy kicked strongly against Prince Johnson becoming chair of the Committee on National Security and Defense?
Right.
And he said nothing could happen, and he ran and he won, only to backtrack later. I think McGill, look, let me put my own, and I'm going to go on a limb and say, McGill will not run. If he does run, he will not run on the CDC ticket. Because here's what is going to happen. They asked the ambassador whether people who have been sanctioned are allowed to run. And the ambassador in diplomatic speak said that's not what the sanction says. The ambassador did not say whether it was right or wrong. He said that is not what the Magnitsky Act says. Behind closed door, if McGill decides to run, the CDC cannot accept him because that would be George. We are tacitly saying that he doesn't care about what the U.S. government has said and what findings they have. And if he decides to run outside of the CDC and the CDC does not feel a serious candidate, the U.S. will see between the lines. And if the CDC decides to feel a serious candidate, then George Weah will be pushed by the CDC and the American government to ensure that they start to prosecute, because they said they're going to turn it over for prosecution, right? So they're either going to see, the center now holding things falling apart, and these people going to court because now they're trying to, they're holding that rope that will preferably hold George Weah into the open, and then we'll find out that the emperor's got on no clothes, that the emperor is naked. And so for me, I think this is just, Lieutenant McGill doesn't want to look like Bill Tuaway right now. Have you seen Bill Tuaway lately, his pictures?
No.
Yeah, man is disheveled. He looks like he's never seen $200 in his life. And so I think Lieutenant McGill is trying to keep himself relevant as can be, keep himself in the eyes of the people. But I think this is just theater. I really don't see how he's going to run on the CDC ticket, because CDC is not going to allow it. And B, if he runs as an opposition, as an independent, if the CDC does not feel a serious candidate, I guarantee you, we will be the people here going to the nation's capital and demanding for more serious actions against the George Weah government.
Okay, more sanctions against the George Weah government. Let me soften the ball here because you and the liberal, you have already had a few here. Let me turn to Dr. Toto, and then I will come to, because when I bring in Amos George here, that would be another flame in the house here. Let me see here whether the doctor are going to stabilize this situation here. Dr. Toto, this is what we're seeing unfolding. Sisi has already made a prediction that the possibility of CDC accommodating by Nathaniel Mangi, who actually was the front line out for the George Weah campaign, and out of the sudden, Uncle Sam came in and slammed with this sanction here, compulsory resignation, turning the wheel around, finding political shutout in Mount Gibby County. Does that really add up?
Yeah, well, also just to add to the discussion, I think perhaps the issue of my game and the other one, they got the big events. I think those guys that underestimated the power of the U.S. government. They don't really know when it comes to the power of Uncle Sam. Like Okodio myself was discussing the same issue some time ago. Then look at Russia. The Russian, all the baby guys, even the owner of Chelsea, when it comes to the war in Ukraine, when they left a high test sanction on the guys, then what become of them? So perhaps the guys in Liberia, they are already estimating the power of the U.S. government, but the shelter that Bangladesh trying to look for, like other politicians have gathered before, that's some of the needs that were mentioned by Cesar, even or Vanny Sherman and other people, they have been sanctioned before. But look at their present condition, even look at Vanny Sherman, like somebody posted a picture on Facebook some time ago laughing on Vanny Sherman transfer with time. They say sanction get ready to treat people bad, but the shelter that Bangladesh trying to look for, whether that in Bon County, Bagibi or Bagbolo, it's just a waste of time. And there where President Weah will be held accountable. And they are watching him keenly because they are come up, they told the world that they want the ascetic question for people to be taken for prosecution. And I guess no evidence are there clear. You don't even need to ask for evidence, people can see it. But again, what war indicted him in Bon County when he made that statement. So what the evidence they're asking for? So if President Weah is not careful, I can see maybe it may not be he, but maybe he will enjoy that presidency or treatment he received it. But it's going to be a serious problem here. The best guy, we all know Bangladesh is running our shadow government from your home, but also when people see that Bangladesh is running our government. The best guy.
Do you strongly believe in that?
Yeah, we believe it. We believe that Bangladesh is run or shadow government from your home. You can see the man appearing when the man speaks. He still speaks as somebody that in control. It's out there. So look at all these things people see this. So if the CDC government, their best guess is don't put the guy as one of our elder bearer or any of our tickets. If you want to go independent, let him go independent, but get him to get closer. But we don't. What they are pumping in, they have to make Mange to be where he is. And it will be a serious problem for the government because the U.S. ambassador is really on there. I read an article a couple of days ago where the U.S. ambassador was cautioning the government about a certain matter, the investment. Why is it that they cannot carry on the investment opportunity when the opportunity was given to them? They say we are watching it. And he said again, it will create a bad environment for investors in Liberia. He said it. So these are things that are affording Britain right before our eyes. And the city government taking it to be for a joke. But again, they're jumping around, waiting for a place to play, calling people, this, that. I mean, they're heading for their own detriment, to be frank.
Okay, heading for their own detriment. I am not the one who's going to put people to end people's political career here. I'm not sure how this is going to play out by the man from the far right, Amos George. Now, we cannot no more speculate. His actions, who does he hide? Is it the president, the CDC, or who it favors? Is it going to be doing good to the oppositions, and how?
Dr. Todo, Mr. To, how you doing? I said it the last on the show. I say the decision George Weah took to suspend Nathaniel Mangene was because he was coming to America. I said it last on this very show. I said it was based because he coming to America. That's why he took that decision. And I felt called that people should call the U.S., the ambassador, State Department, that George Weah should not come. But let me say this. George Weah is not a student of history. I can say this. Because if George Weah is a student of history, then exactly will know how Uncle Sam operates. But she's now a student of history. So he doesn't know. This thing, George Weah will go down with Nathaniel Mangere if he's not careful.
How?
Let me give you just a short story. You know, the military advisor to Liberia during the war at the time, the guy used to live right by Kelly and was living right opposite him there. I don't know, one time people heard the story that the military advisor insulted President Doe at the time. It was the last time he went there to the mansion to see the president, and he said to the president, and the president did not like it. And he told the president, hey, get up from here, I'm gone. And I was living with my uncle at that time, so he called my uncle and told him, say, look, this guy is done. I'm leaving. He told the man, say, if you know I know, leave the country. He said, I'm gone. The Shasha Parker, he left Liberia. And we all know what happened to Doe. So George Weah, you going down a slippery road here. Nathaniel Mangere, the U.S. accusing. You came and said, okay, I will set a committee to investigate this internal order to the Minister of Justice, and we'll ask the U.S. government to assist us. Up to now, we don't know. Maybe since another committee member, I don't know. Nothing has been heard. Nathaniel Mangere is running between Bomb and Bomb and Magiri. He had gone. The drug people do smell notice. Put this crowd of spectacular crowd. This man is poking his hand in the eyes of the American. They don't have the things that don't run. And George Weah is sitting down, the CDC is sitting down. So private, so yeah, it's the man's rights. Mangere cannot run as an independent. Mangere, if you run as an independent, they will do something like what they did in Lofa. Throw their support behind, they say they're independent. But CDC will not come out in the public to denounce Nathaniel Mangere action. They will not do it. And this is the dilemma that President Weah is trying to get himself caught up in. The same thing with Bill Traoré. He went to Rwanda and said he will run there. President Weah, if you don't put your foot down, that lip service to say, oh, I'm fighting corruption, my government is fighting corruption, it will take you down, President Weah. America got no permanent friends. They have interest. They don't have permanent friends, they have interest. And if you think the little you learn from the Italian mafia, the little you learn around France and Italy or whatever you want to think, you will play the ball game, it will catch up with you. And this thing, those who are in power, the best thing that they can do for President Weah is to tell him, hey, tell Nathaniel Mangere to stop and Bill Traoré to stop this thing here. Because if it doesn't stop, you will bear the responsibility of what will go on in this country. So this is where we find ourselves. You see, why Nathaniel Mangere could not go to Kakatan? I think we also did last time when Kakatan, people were booing. So what they did, they clearly moved down to to Small Notice area.
Okay, so let's spin around the room here. Should this be the talking point of the opposition, or they should keep their eyes on the ball, be talking about Mangere, contesting to Mangibi, and should the opposition run with this? Do they need to sell this to the electorate, and or should they find a different talking point? Liberal, you are from the Liberty Party, USA, claim to be world. Would that be you guys' talking point? Would that be Nyombi Kangat talking point, Joseph Boyka, to rehash or re-echo what Mangere is doing? It's visible, people are saying it, Should they waste their time to make a talking point out of this?
Thank you, Mr. So Liberty Party is not even in any kind of position to talk about anything right now. Their favorite daughter is having some meltdown issue within the party. So they got no way of talking about. I mean, their daughter, their outstanding daughter, is sitting there yelling over her lung to say, "I am not out of way A or B," but so they can't say much right now. No, but seriously, Mr. So, I don't think the opposition should waste their time with this thing. But as much as I'm saying that, they're very much inept anyway. So you will find some of them will gravitate towards this as a way to say they're going to generate vote. And I think they're going to be wasting their time. Look, Mr. So, let me say this here very quickly. What is happening here, and I agree with Cece in that McGill most likely is not going to run. And my speculation now is that McGill is doing this because right now, without McGill, CDC has no one to actually stand in public and be ridiculous as McGill is saying tonight. So I think McGill, you saw the kind of crowd he's polling. So McGill most likely will want to use this opportunity for CDC to see how best they can, not the president himself, but someone within the CDC hierarchy that will be hanging on the coattail of McGill in terms of speaking about the re-election process. You saw McGill when he was talking, he called President Weah name. And you would think President Weah would say, "Don't call my name anymore, but I'm keeping my distance." He's not going to do that. And that's politics. But for him to stay publicly to say he's going to accept the petition, then that also get me a little bit confused. Because if he does that, and he has done it, it's just a matter of time before the hierarchy of CDC advised the president to distance himself. Because Mr. George said it here, I won't go that far the way he went, but of course that's the central right. He's always giving it as it is. But for me, as a liberal, I like to sugarcoat a little bit. And I will do my best here, Mr. So I know you don't like that as a far right as well. So conservative, you don't like these things. But there's a saying, you can catch honey with sugar. That's what I do as a liberal. But you guys, you two don't know those kinds of things anyway. But the point now is, I'm hoping and I pray again that McGill will try his best to stop what he's doing. McGill, what I thought perhaps he would have done is go to the American embassy with a Liberian press along with you and embarrass those people. You say you're a freedom lover. You say you want people to clear their name.
You say he should go where?
American embassy. They're not going to arrest him. They're not going to arrest him. Go to the American embassy and say, "I'm here. This is the accusation you guys have done, and this thing is really damaging my reputation. I'm here. Take me in. If I'm guilty, let it be." And if they arrest him at the embassy, they will bring him here to the United States.
Take you in where?
So listen. Go to the embassy and say, "What are the procedures that I want to do? I want to use to clear my name." And let the embassy say that's between you and the Liberian government. Hold on. Let the embassy come and say, between you and the American government, all we did was just presented evidence. And that statement will be utilized against these people themselves. You can't arrest me, but you will say that I have done certain things. When that statement come out of the United States Embassy to say this is between you and the Liberian government, you go straight from the embassy straight to the courthouse with the evidence in hand, with the statement. You say, "What have I done?" Let the let the Liberian government come and present the evidence.
Look,
and if you're not guilty, you will be free.
Okay, let me just.
You can run and hide yourself in this kind of kabuki dancing situation. But then again, I'm not.
You start to sound so ridiculous.
But that's what I do, and I'm very good at that. So I'm not here to, Mr. So I'm not here to say. Look, listen. I'm a liberal. I tell you as I see it, but I sugar coat a little bit because I don't
You
like
as a fake liberal. You don't even. You don't.
I'm not
you
I'm not
represent.
a conservative. I'm a liberal. I'm just telling you what I feel. I'm just telling you what I feel and how I think.
You
Let the man
being
go.
in this America, is that how America conduct herself?
Mr. So you put these people, you put the American embassy and the American people, you put them on notice to say, I'm here. You take of Liberian press people, let them go with you. It's a show. It's a show.
All right.
You show to the people that you look, I'm not guilty. I'm going to the embassy. If they want to arrest me, let them arrest me. American embassy most likely will not arrest you. They will say, all we did, we presented our case to the Liberian government, and if you have issue with that, you go to the Liberian government. With that statement on hand, the press is going to be able to have that recording. You go straight to the courthouse and launch your complaint against people.
Let me hold you there, because what you are doing here now is to create a political satire. That's where you are going right now.
I don't care how you define it.
Yeah, this is so ridiculous. No, Cece, let me just bring you in here. I don't know where this guy is going with his talking point. He's think that we in total is that how American operates? Oh yeah, me here, you can't catch me because you accuse me. Let me ask you, the action, can we say it's a political ploy being put into place by former Minister McGee to say that he's not going to run? He came out publicly, he's going to accept. Is it meant to change the conversation, to change the narrative, or like the Liberal said, and to energize the CDC, another way of getting outdoor there to get fresh air, and you know what, people are going to take it as a conversation like we are doing that. Can we still say it's a political ploy by him?
I think, like I said, this is theater. I think McGee is just trying to maintain some relevance. We've seen a lot of people accept endorsements and not run. So for me, I think this is pure political theater. But to the question you asked about, should the opposition political parties be making this an issue in their campaign? I would say it should be part of the issues. My guy, Councillor Tiawan Gonglo, is running on criminal justice reform and making sure that nobody is above the law or below the law, that everybody is equal before the law. And I think on that platform issue, the issue of accusing people legally and not forwarding them to court, the issue of having people being in legal purgatory. You know, when I used to go to Catholic church, we were told that there is heaven, there is hell, and then in between there's purgatory, where you sit and you are waiting, some judgment. We cannot continue to allow that. And I think Tiawan and Arizona Cummings and Joseph Boakai, they all need to push this, because if you think back today to the Liberty Party a document that they delivered, one of the things they asked for is for the resignation of the election commissioner to go and clear her name. The government accused her and sullied her name, because I would say they sullied her name because they didn't go to court. They sullied her name and never went to court. There has been a lot of people in Liberia that way. And so the president spoke. He didn't speak. The president wrote and said that he was going to forward these, but there was going to be an investigation taking place, and the law was going to take its course on these 3 officials that were sanctioned. To date, we don't know the makeup of the group that is doing the investigation. We don't know if an investigation has been initiated. And so I would pray, I would love for McGill to be listening to this program right now and follow Mr. To's advice to go to the U.S. Embassy and say, come and arrest me, knowing fully well that the U.S. government does not have an indictment against you. But what that would do, it will push the hand of George Weah, because now the U.S. government will see this as, oh, you're trying to bring us, Mr. President, we've given you the evidence. Because I know by now the president has access to the evidence, but you have not prosecuted. And now the U.S. government will have to say it face. I guarantee you, Mr. To, if what's his name, Nathaniel Margaret does that, in less than 2 weeks you'll be in South Beach, because George Weah now will be pushed to the wall, and you have to act, because now the American will be calling George Weah and say, well, we'll give you the evidence. Why can't you take? And if no, let me tell you something. You think people want to know they're guilty? You think when McGill gave that interview to Al Jazeera, and you were going to clear his name? What actions to date, when you listen to him accepting his endorsement, if he had taken any action that would have been part of their political speech today, to say these are the actions I've taken to clear my name? They didn't even talk about that. Absolutely not. The man sat down on Al Jazeera talking about people used to use his name on Facebook and said people like the Americans are so stupid they don't know who is Nathaniel McGay because somebody got a Facebook profile with your picture on it, and so the Americans are going to accuse you because they're seeing that Facebook. You know how McGill made that excuse for me. In McGill's mind, he thought people are stupid. And I would be one person to sit on this platform to say, Mr. Toa, I will push back against you. McGill is not educated. Because somebody who is educated would not make such a foolery and buffoon statement thinking that he's trying to defend himself. That people use my picture on Facebook for their profile picture so the Americans don't know which McGill. They don't know which McGill they've been giving a visa to be coming to America all the time. They don't know which McGill to get a visa to. Like, he say, okay, us, you like our money here, you give it to all yet. You didn't know which McGill that went to a Boncante and said, if I steal all the thing here, and I bearing thing here. You know which McGill say because he wear the Bassa woman and he paid man, so you also belong to Boncante because I mean to Mikey because so myself to send my need today. I've been hanging around GGA for too long. I come in the total time, I'm going to run to be how to call it. This is just foolery.
Okay.
So
let me hold you.
Before I finish. McGill is not going to be serious because if he's serious, here's what's going to happen. Is Jefferson Koji, the lack of Jefferson Koji, going to go to campaign for McGill? That is going to create some friction because the lack of Jefferson Koji cannot go to campaign for McGill. And they have a relationship. Will Mobile Molu go to campaign for Nathaniel McGill? That is not going to happen. So again, this is just political theater.
Okay. Just political theater. Let me bring in Dr. Toto into this conversation here. We had a conversation here before, and those were some of the questions, and they are legitimate questions. And I'm wondering why folks, the media people in the country, they have not even put this question to the Minister of Justice, to the presidential spokesperson, because the president alluded that there going to be an investigation. And some of us also raised the concern, okay, this came from Uncle Sam. What were the evidence? What sort of documentation that were provided to GOL, and the president took, or the government took that decision? Does that suggest that the recommendations or the documentation provided to the government already found the minister guilty? So, on what basis did the government ask these people to resign? Here we are. They said there are going to be investigations, which is as usual. These things come. We don't see the end result. I don't know whether the media tool in the country has followed through for somebody to add, hey, the Minister of Justice or the Presidential Press Secretary. The last time the president said, following the resignations of McGay, the president, the governor are going to launch an investigation. Is this investigation being established? Who was conducting? How far are it gone? I'm not sure whether that has been asked. So here we are. This guy he said he's going to accept his action. Can we say his actions is correlated with that of what the president is doing? Can we say the president is aware of it? This decision today formally? Or the government of Liberia, you think?
Oh, definitely so. Definitely also. Since the incident occurred, every year the Attorney General made an statement to give an update on the press, perhaps maybe about aware of as to be corrected. The Attorney General, Mosadi, or the Justice.
Why the media in the country to not to interrupt you, Doctor? Why our guys, folks in Liberia, they do not follow through to ask these high court questions? Because they have to also push.
First of all, when it comes to the media Liberia, we can save that for another discussion. When it comes how they critically ask questions, how they analyze, ask a question, I think that we can save that for another discussion. Because for some of us, we are criticizing the media. In fact, when there's a press conference, it's held how the type of question they ask, press conference, it made people to strike their head. So they'll save that for another another discussion. We will focus on the media engagement in the whole
Okay,
process.
yeah, that's yeah, we'll find a time for that and bring in some expert. What is
Yeah.
that? What is he trying to achieve here? What is he trying to achieve? Is he
So-
doing some dirty work for somebody here that we don't know, or what?
If you look at Bagay action, right? What really pushing Bagay in the situation Bagay, like I said earlier, there are other people that are their session already that are still enjoying it, or they are in the house, or in the Senate. There are other people that are there, they go through the same process, they are still there. And we have seen that here happen to them, or what our uncle say, have taken any kind of tangible action that we can see. Maybe perhaps we're not seeing it, so that's why encouraging Mange and all of those guys, to say that, you know what, since we out of maybe the all of the executive, I never try to go into the horse. Maybe that's why they try to push the agenda. But this should be a talking point for the politician like Brewer, especially the political party. You cannot downplay, you say they'll focus on other issues. You can focus on other issues when it comes to the campaign process. But look at our population like Brewer, you get a youthful population of 35% of our youth, of our voting population. They are young people. And those are the people, the message going in their ear. And the simple Mange is taking the message also to them. That they're using him or they're attacking him, they are killing him, they are forcing, they're killing him. He taking that same message to the population. So politician or political institution, take that same message to the people out there too. Especially that our God I will support. When you talk about just a reform, you talk about law. That's why we support with everybody. So politicians don't need to just stand by and just say, don't focus on the area and leave that Mange issue. No, it's important. About the U.S. government, to be president, I don't think Mange to go to the U.S. embassy to display his say whatsoever and tell people, hey, y'all can give the evidence there. If Mange is so serious, he can just call a press conference and tell the American government and also this is me. I'm willing to face to go through the justice process and make statement. Well, you call for indictment. You call for your whatever you call for. You want for to go through the proper channel. But we don't get a president that contradicts himself so many times. When President Wiyaki a few years ago he addressed the U.S. Senate, he talked about when you get a brilliant speech according to a supporter. You talk about war crime code. When you went like bro, read to Ralphie, they ask the question and say, am I the only person that's supposed to enforce it? Why the other people that didn't do it first? And we seen it again. President Weah came here, you also come to America, he make that statement, that he come back, you don't hear anything from him again. And then I was talking to one of the supporters, they said they're making an arrangement for he coming in December.
Yes.
And they said he coming in December to meet President Biden or whatsoever. And I hope to see you happy. But I guess before he come again, you'll make another statement again. And that's how this guy look. That's how the guy or this guy looking. He always contradict himself when it comes to critical issue. He try to shy away from it. But for this one, I don't know how to handle it to be frank.
All right. Let's take a break, and when we come back, we will go to Amos Joyce, the team, panelist, contributor. They're going to be live on the Liberia Public Radio this Sunday in Liberia. We're going to be communicating with Liberia. And then on the 6th, see who's going to be appearing on LPR.
Liberia Public Radio, an online platform in collaboration with Sky Radio and TV, presents The Liberian World Today, a 60-minute program that connects the Liberian diaspora to the Liberian nation. The Liberian World Today begins airing this Sunday, October 9 at 12 midday Eastern Time and 4 p.m. GMT. From politics to economics, health to education, the Liberian World Today brings on top guests with different perspectives and potential solutions as they discuss Liberia. Join our host, Alfonso Zienzo, this Sunday, October 9 at 12 midday Eastern Time and 4 p.m. GMT for the maiden edition of the program, The Liberian World Today, on Lpr, an online platform, and Sky Radio 107.1 FM and Sky Communications Liberia Online. Don't miss it.
Okay, there you have it. That was the official kickoff of the Liberian World Today. That was the official kickoff. That's what you heard October 9. But on the 6th of November, presidential hopeful Madam Mandela Cooper will be my special guest right here. We're not going to leave no one behind. I think people are being left behind the scene, and this is why the conversation is going there. Let me come to Amos George. We'll soon pivot from this here. Amos George, they say you're going to be helping Fala McGee to run the campaign now since he's not in Bon County. Oh, my goodness. Don't let that chair. Okay. So here we are. Before we switch gear here, who is going to be the victim in this whole thing here? I hear the liberal say that he's trying to get some sort of, I don't know whether it's a political tantrum he's trying to throw here to say, hey, I'm still alive. I'm still here. Because there's a complete seclusion here on his part. Folks that used to hang out with him, now everybody keeping eyes, they're not going to go. He's just not going to have the South group alone. You know, you need to have some of these big boys behind you when you're really running an effective campaign to communicate with people. I want to see a sort of debate. Maybe I need to ask for having that debate or moderate that debate and ask some question. But here we are. Should the party speak, or I mean the ruling establishment? Do they have anything to do with this? I don't know whether he had denounced his membership or whether he's still with NPP, but more like he's CDC now because he was a party chairman. He crossed over to CDC. Should CDC say anything to this here or just play it cool as it is? Check your microphone, Amos George.
If they play it cool, it will still come back to haunt them. But let me push back a little bit something the liberal was saying here. Samson told, what at that time when you cross the river, the Paultown somewhere? That's not Paultown. Paultown what? Paultown somewhere there. That's not it. Samson told.
I'm not hearing you.
Booker Town.
Okay, Booker Town. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. No, we're hearing that.
It's not Booker Town. You're talking about the United States government. Nathan Mange must take president to go stand for the embassy to do what? They are showing Nathan Mange the means to contact the Treasury Department. The means are there. He need not to go to the embassy to waste people's time, precious time. It's the Treasury Department. They are showing all the means to contact the Treasury Department. Let him contact the Treasury Department. Let him get his lawyers to contact the Treasury Department. But to go waste to obstruct people's movement by saying that he's going to stand to the embassy, that obstructing people and wasting people's precious time. So I don't know. Maybe I will ask that Nathan Mange get you as an advisor to him, so you can make the change on the side because he got too much money. So you can be an advisor to him. The second I want to push to say is that the opposition need to pound on the issue. And what does you do? Don't call Nathan Mange name. Pound on the president. His lack of will, power to prosecute people within his government. That's what the opposition should be doing on George. We are not Nathan Mange. Leave Mange. Go to the president. Don't call. If you try to call Nathan Mange, you try to get him relevant. Don't call his name. Go to George and accuse of our government or cover up for corrupt people in his government. Don't call nobody name. Continue to pound on the president. His lack of political will to prosecute people. The continual will of people getting away with impunity. Let the political opposition use it on George Weah. Don't call Nathan Mange name. You just go after George Weah, that he doesn't have the will to prosecute people who are corrupt in the government. And that in itself is creating impediment to the development and growth of Liberia. So let the opposition take this on. Don't call Nathan Mange name because you call his name, you're trying to make him relevant. Just go on the president. That you make your point to him. And that is the way to go. But again, I say I'm saying it again. George Weah, this group is hanging around George Weah until they can come out in the public and denounce Nathan Mange or expel him from the party publicly. If they don't do so, and let me say this. These people they always made the moral equivalence. That is, the other people did it. Because I saw my own brother, Marvin Cole yesterday talking about trash. Talking about trash. Talking about Vanny Sherman.
Do you want Marvin Cole job?
I don't want Marvin Cole job. But the guy is ridiculous. This is an embarrassment to the Pele people of Bonkande.
Oh boy.
This guy is
He
ridiculous.
only better from Agibi.
You know, it's so funny.
That you think, do you agree with me?
That one, the one that identify as Pele people. Now, I'm from where Bopol, Lower Lofa. But now, he has come to claim Magiri and Bomb County. You see that? Ridiculous. I hate to be tribalistic, but some of the guys, they don't make people to say something that you don't want to say because they're pushing our button to say that we are stupid. You know, you are better man. Yeah, better people speak Pele. But that doesn't mean that you're from Bonkande or you're from Lofa County. I mean, you're from Magiri because you used to be in Lofa County. But you're not from Magiri, you're not from Bonkande. It's not because you speak Pele. So because when you speak Pele, so all the Pele people just run behind you now because they are stupid set of Pele people.
So then, okay, I want to also move on here. So then what's wrong with the argument? He's a resident of Magiri County, correct?
Well, it left with the people because the Constitution, there's a rules that you must stay, you must reside in the county for a certain period of time. Yeah. So I don't know.
The other representative actually stated that he is not because he has to be domiciled at least 1 year before. And he does live in District 6. McGill lives in District 6 in Maserado.
Yeah, I listened to that guy. So who's going to be the peaceful, who's going to be the settlement in this whole thing here? Can anybody file in? Yeah, that
when it comes to that aspect about where McGill want to run, and also I think the law already defined that. We saw that we're having with Andrew Snow left from Maserado County. He went to bombing. And the city lawmaker at that time in Bombing County spoke at that time and he was crying. And, putting his kids through.
Sandro Johnson.
Yeah, and nobody listened to him. So the Andrew Snow said, I'm coming, I will destroy you. And he went, he did it. So the guy from Magiri, I listened to him crying, and, making all the accusations to about McGill also. I mean, the only thing we can try to prevent McGill because he has been tied to the sexual conversion. That's it. But wherever he want to royal and reside, our constitution does not really give a good.
No. The constitution is clear.
Yeah. Let me push back.
It's clear.
Let me push back on that.
Okay.
The constitution is clear.
The ruling from the Supreme Court on the issue of Snow was that Snow could claim Bombing County as his domicile because he owned property on a farm there. He got Puma farm there. He got a whole. He employed people over there, so that was also his domicile because he owned property. He owned more property in Bombing than anywhere else in Liberia. So that was the part that played for him. But McGill does not have that same thing working for him. And like you just said, Doctor, the other piece that's working against McGill is that now the political powerful that have the ability to bend the law would not want to bend the law like they probably did in the case of Snow for him, because now nobody he got political leprosy. Nobody want to be next to him.
Yeah. And secondly, the law says when you are white. So if anybody from Magiri feel that Nathaniel Magiri will trample upon the rights, they go to the court.
All right, let's change the conversation here. We talk about this biometrics here, but I listened to the Sister Network network today. The interview was fascinating. I think little details came out with respect to how this process is going to be played out. Unfortunately, our institution that is charged with the responsibility for the conduct of this, they are up to this time unable to give the interpretation here. So I'm not sure the arguments of the ECOWAS ambassadors, officials today, brought in different dimensions, more details, or different conversation, because what they are saying, basically that process, what they are talking about, as from what we heard and what they know, is to avoid a fraudulent process, people registering multiple times is strictly, but they're going to go the same old traditional way. If this is the case, why didn't the election commission, Deliata Brown and the commission to come out and open this out to the Liberian people and give it, probably that's why giving you the headache. I'm suffering from severe headache here because we ourselves, we are concerned of bringing something that we felt that the electors are not properly informed. But what we are hearing from the ECOWAS official now, this is strictly to help to curtail Samson told Alfonso So, Amos George registering multiple places and having a multiple vote. Would this put this to a rest? Why should ECOWAS be the one to give a kind of precise interpretation of this thing, and then the commission should conduct the election?
Look, Mr. So let me leave people. I'll be back in 30 minutes. But I told you that David Eda Brown, when I said she was not competent, and Professor Zawlem, I said so, and so those are some of the reasons. I don't you put right back.
Okay. You want to make a point before you go. The old man, yeah. Everybody tempo pack. Yeah, okay. So yeah, Sese, go ahead.
Well, look, again, I will go back to our government is a system that is set up with check and balances. If the check is doing the work and the balance is not working, then the system fails. And so people who have to check on people that have been placed in positions of trust. I don't like, that usually we allow gossip to be the order of the day in our political dispensation. But that's simply because the people that are in power don't give a lot of information out. And wherever there's a lack of information, people are going to fill it up with hearsay. Look, the issue of biometrics, and I heard some people try to explain it differently today. Oh, it's just for registration. Yeah, whatever, man. Even if it's just for registration, you're still going to need sustained internet connectivity. And so today I spent about 2 hours of my time just doing a little research on NEC website. Have any of you been on NEC website lately? You should try to go there. You'll be disappointed. Can you hear me?
Yeah, well, yeah, loud and clear.
Okay. You should try to go there. You'll be disappointed. Because when you go there, the most recent thing that you can click on about elections is from 2017 about the 2020 by-election. If you go there and you click on election timetable, it gives you just something on the right-hand column that talks about just presidential election, legislative election, validation of administrative units, and amalgamated areas, listing and boundaries. It's a clickable link. You click on it, nothing opens. The next thing you see is accreditation of political parties from October 5th, 2022 to December 2nd, 2022. You click on it, nothing opens. And these are all clickable links. So this is the National Election website where people are supposed to go to get information. And they're given these links. There are clickable links where you click them and they don't open. Nothing opens. It's just there. I spent over 2 hours today on this website trying to say, okay, if I am trying to create a voters education program, if I'm trying to create a voters guide program on LPR to say we want to do our part as citizens to educate our people on the electoral process, the place for me to go to get that information should be the Election Commission's website. But if I get there, there is nothing there. So how then are we expected to do voters education? Forget about the political parties. Let's say even us on this network, we decide we're going to give 1 day a week to voters education. Where are we going to get information from? Where are we going to get credible information from if I cannot get it from the NEC website? And they're talking about on their site about, September 8th to December 22nd is when they're going to be looking to validation of administrative units and amalgamated areas, listing and boundaries. This is them saying that this is where they're going to be looking at creating boundaries for electoral districts. But you still you don't even have the information from ledges. So how are you even setting hard deadlines to talk about boundaries for amalgamated areas and electoral districts? It is strange. So for me, I think this entire election is just going to lead to chaos. Because if I as a consumer don't even know where to go to consume information, it is sad. But this thing is going to end in a serious headache, Mr. To. And I don't want it for my country, but you can see the signs. They say when the Christmas will kick, you can tell from the Eve, and we're already looking at the Eve. It's not good.
So the key question here, the liberal, ECOWAS, our neighbors, they are being there. We're not going to put them down, but they were more elaborate today in a conversation. But I wish there were some other tough questions that are being pushed back, but the guy, they did the best they can do. So why NEC is unable to give interpretations of a very process they're going to be the one to execute, and that we have to call ourselves Western Southwest region brothers to kind of be a little bit more details of the process. What is lacking?
Mr. So, once again, I will try to do my best to be high spirit on this, but it's very difficult. What these people are doing in Liberia, they're not even looking back on history. The whole democracy, the process of democracy, is based on trust. It's a system that people trust. And because of that, they allow you to arrest them if they break the law. They allow you to put them in jail and wait for their turn in court. We tested that. The people decided to test the system and decided, no, this system is not working for us and the system is not good. We will test it and we will disagree with this system and call the government bluff. We have a civil war. These people over there in Liberia, for some reason, I believe, and I hope that I'm wrong, but many of them have already have their root in some of the foreign countries. They're there in Liberia just like a farm. They're working, they say, but their whole heart is not in Liberia. It's just a matter of time. If any kinds of bad situation happen in our country, many of them will fly the first day. The first day. And so if you don't have invested interest, I'm not talking about building a house over there. You can go anywhere and work and make money and build another house. But if you have an invested interest in how the people are supposed to live, in how you think the people should live, and you're doing your best. Take, for example, not because he's not here, but let's take, for example, a CDC professor. You go on Facebook, every day he's working, showing himself, connecting with people, whether we agree with him or not.
Why are you calling him CDC professor?
Because I say he's CDC professor. Whether we agree with him or not, but he's there. That's investment into people. He has already connected. Okay? So the point that I'm making here is this. The point that I'm making here is this. Many of these people, the election commission, she doesn't have that much tie in our country. I don't believe. Because if she did, she would have been able to understand that this biometric, whatever they call themselves, is not suitable at this time. It's a good process. It makes people like Samson Toe. When I was little, 3, 4 years old, I voted for Tubman almost 20 times. I remember that. Because they used to say, "Go, my sister."
Why they're breaking this? That's why they are trying
Hold on. My sister will hold my hand. We go through the house. They say, "Where your knee?" I'll call
Yeah, they own man is troublesome, I swear to God.
Man,
Hold on.
Yes,
We go in there, say, "Where your knee?" Samson Toe voted. Then I go around. I come back again. The same person, "What's your knee?" I voted more than 20 times. I remember that. Because the last one, the messenger who used to be a messenger in Total, Songe, he was standing at the end there with we call them toffee with candy. He was standing at the end of the line with a candy in his hand, and I ran to him. He said, "You finish?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah, you candy." I was out of there. But the people were marking my name. It's the same thing here that the people are trying to avoid. The point here, Mr. So, is this. This process,
wow,
why it is good, we're not quite ready. if you want to be good in this thing should have been for way almost a year ago to unveil this thing. And you bring in intellectual to go and teach these young people. And when the young people are going to be taught, they must be paid.
Oh.
And so the young people would, because it's a serious business. Let's take, for example, my stepmom. You take my stepmom right now, go stay in front of the camera, and then the light go poof. So, then you know, like fire. Yeah. You think that lady will leave from there and take it serious to say I'm going to go vote? I can see. Then you ask you, what? How are you going to use that in total? How are you going to have this process be utilized in total? And let's correct what says. Let's go to all the way to plow and mow. They want a light for them to use this system. Where is the current that will even give them something for them to say, well, there's an internet system? These people are just playing around. Monrovia is not Liberia. These people need to be told Monrovia is not Liberia. But I tell you what, Mr. So, these people fool around. The next one they're going to come, and I pray, does he? But they will be in it for a long time. Look at Somalia. Look at Sudan. Those places, it's not that they are. In fact, Sese can tell you, some of the highly African American educated people in the Minnesota area are from Sudan and Somalia. Highly educated. But you think these people are going to go back there to try to say, let's try to organize ourselves and have a decent country after war for almost 40 years? This is what they used to. People were born in a war, and this is their life. And this is what these people are now understanding. We have an opportunity. The war came, and people have gotten out of that.
Okay.
Liberians, young Liberians, forget about war, came back here, rehabilitate themselves. Some did, some still don't, because when they talk to you, you know they still have issues, but they're there. We're all here, but some of them go back to school.
I think,
Mr. So, they're not central right speaking right now. I know you are here, you got some kind of thing going. So please don't cut me, because when he was talking, how the central right, you run your show and he tells you, let me talk, I'll come back here in 10 minutes. Can I do that to you without you blocking me for life? Mr. So, and I tried to let it go, but here you are, you're pushing it. You and when May came back, you welcome me. You didn't even say anything. But if I do that same thing, just a few minutes ago, when I went up, what's wrong with you? Why you went up? You tell anybody what you started pleading the law. But that's besides the point. Let me make my point clear, and you can go on. You are your center right. It's Friday afternoon, and I have to come Mayflower tonight. I want to be friend with you. So let's start from there. So the point that I'm making, if these people on a very serious note, if they want this thing to happen fairly, they will do it. We can't go anywhere and borrow people to come straight in our country. We're gonna have to do it ourselves.
Okay, thank you so much. But yeah, I expected some sort of pushback this afternoon, because your talking point here almost pivoting in the directions of the ambassadors. Well, they've been working, there are some challenges, but they didn't even tell her I did set up preparations. So I'm wondering, are we being used as an experimental ground to kind of, to experiment this process? Of course, I want high-tech modern voting system to be used in the country. I don't want people to be the something told voting 20 times, 25 times. So you are part of the problem that we are having today. Right. Yeah, you are part of the problem.
A 3 to 4, 5-year-old, I'm a problem? Of course I am.
He's trying to get justification.
No, I'm just telling you.
Moral equivalence.
You were out of ignorance. You didn't know they were holding it. So they hold your hand and carry you there, right?
If I tell you some of the names I used to vote, you will kick me off of the platform. Bad names. That what kind of name people are using to vote for Tubman. And Tubman landslide. In fact, you have more vote than the citizen of Liberia. So you tell me. Mr. So these are we don't need to go through that, but go ahead.
Okay, so is this Dr. Toto, is there a peaceful settlement based on the arguments of the ECOWAS ambassadors today? well, we want to do this to minimize, to avoid people registering multiple times, multiple places to vote 2, 3, 4, 5 times. That is said, that's not the basic of democracy. It's one man, one vote. You can't go be voting 2, 3, 4 times, transporting people living from zone. How they call the block they say zones, whatever 6, account to number 10, and all of that. I'm wondering how would this be monitored? Will it be properly? Because it's a made an arguable point. All of these things come with high tech equipments where they are being supported by the internet system to be effective. Is that achievable in Liberia? Can it work in the villages where somebody hangs phone up to get a phone call and all of that? Even in Bond County, Lofa as well. Can that work?
I think that was absurd. I think that was absurd. I think. But again, you know, when you go out seeking help and you don't know what you want, people will give you anything. Like going to garage sale. You just go, you buy everything, you see on the people along, you carry bed back to your house. That's your problem. You know, and I think that's what has happened. You know, we're in a zing round and it's very, very hot. We don't have electricity. The heat is killing us. So we decide we'll open our windows so cool air can come in. But forget that we live in near the swamp. So you open the window, cool air will come, but it will come a mosquito. And so this is what we're getting from ECOWAS. Look, for the ambassadors to have said that, suggest kind of implies that the Ellen elections were not free, fair, and credible, because the elections that brought Ellen to power and retain her in power for a second term, those registrations were done manually. And so if they're saying that they're trying to avoid people voting, people registering multiple times and voting multiple times, suggests that they have evidence of that happening. And if they have, they should have presented that to the Liberian government or to the Liberian people. This thing is almost like what the Donald Trump people be doing here and say, yes, dead people voted, but you ask and they can't show it. Why are we now bringing in electronic voting system when even the most developed country on earth is still having issues dealing with the fallout from that? To Liberia right now to experiment with that in places where you're going far off in Lofa County, Mr. So my in-laws live in Tottenburg. There are times when it rains, I can't get them on the phone. Their internet don't work. I went to Liberia recently. I was there in August. We will be there when it's raining right in Tottenburg. What? Less than 50 miles away from the capital. And you don't have internet access. And so if you even think about going to where the porcupine was born in Bapolu, you just forget it. The internet is done. And so when these people are saying that this is to make sure that people vote one time, register once, are you going to take that same system back when I come now to my Zone 2, Precinct 3, Room 4 to vote? You're going to bring that same thing back to verify me biometrically? What happens when the internet is down? I don't get a vote because you can't verify me. What happens when somebody buys one of these cheap $200 jammers? Because you can buy them and just jam internet. What happens if somebody buys them and decides to jam the internet at an entire voting area? Will the government now say, oh, these are the people that are on it so they can vote? Isn't that just a recipe for cheating anyways? So I was disappointed in that. That these people think that to say, oh, we want to avoid multiple voting. So are they saying that the election that brought George Weah to power also was fraudulent because people might have registered and voted multiple times? That was not nice on the part of the ambassador. And I think people should have pushed back both from the government and from the opposition political parties.
Before I go to Dr. Toto, what was your anticipation hearing from them?
Well, actually, my anticipation was that first thing, I didn't even think that we should be running already to them. I didn't even think that was appropriate. I think that Liberia, we tend to outsource our responsibility.
We can handle our own thing. That I agree with, and that's what I was looking for.
Yeah, we tend to outsource our responsibility way too fast. What if we don't within our own realm of influence? within our constitution, within our court system, within using our pressure group, our civic groups and civic organization? What have we done to try to reform? And then to say, okay, we've done everything we've given up. Can you help us? But we are so quick to outsource our responsibilities in Liberia to foreigners.
Okay, let me hold you there. Let me bring in Dr. Toto. And I kind of take hint of that today. So I'm wondering, based on Sis's argument, I'm wondering, was there some sort of SOS call to these ECOWAS people? You know what? You need to intercede. You need to come in here and give this explanation, because if we even date, the people will not listen to us. But you have been a good friend. You have been there during the time of the war. You have done a lot of things here, a lot of intervention to stabilize this country. You can give it a better interpretation and tension with Kuda. Do you think that sort of consultation was went out there to the ECOWAS ambassador to come on a big network today to kind of like put a little bit season on this whole tasteless soup that we've been having, Dr. Kuto?
Yeah, when it comes to that question, I can't really say yes or no to that question. I don't know how the invitation was sent out to the ECOWAS people to appear on Spoon Network. But when I tuned in later on that show, I listened to the ambassador, the lady, or the ambassador Josephine. And I listened to her, and she spoke on some of the challenges when it comes to the biometric. Liberia is not unique to some of the challenges that they have any other African country that use our system. But when it comes to Liberia, you can say Liberia is unique, particularly with looking at our demographic, in Liberia, our voting population. We have to take that into consideration. There's something when it comes to biometric, it's good, but it has so many downsides. Most especially when it comes to the registration process. Can you determine whether somebody is under age or not? The biometric not going to pick that up. So those are things that to look at. And also to in project management, there's a part of project management we call integration management. The integration management is where we done all the testing, bring all the various stakeholders together, to see how we integrate everything together, then move forward. Has all these things been done? Has it been taking place? All the various stakeholders are supposed to make sure that that biometric functioning like Europe correctly. All the various stakeholders been called together on the table to discuss the issue. If it had been done, the population, the voting population, as the message been spread out to them, had voter registration been done, leaching, what information did they have to carry out to the public? The censor, which is very important also to be part of the process. So these are some of the things that we need to investigate. If all these things have taken place, integration management, to go to leaching, the censor, all the things, they will get so okay, we want to move forward with the biometric system in Liberia. But if you look at the presentation that was done to the Spoon Network, and what all have been saying, you can see the rule for the use of the biometric system is very narrow. And I also did a research in Ghana. Ghana used it there. And there were so many complaints in Ghana. A lot of people did not even.
Gambia, in fact, Gambia also has serious problems.
They have it. And then Gambia, they used it at Amawa. They used it at Amawa system from day one. And then later on, they convinced them to go to the biometric system. And at the end of the day, even though the election was held, they had a winner, but it creates serious problem. They say ECOWAS came there to go to talk to opposition to accept the election result, and it's not every time to be begging opposition to accept election result, when the system is not looking so correct,
All right.
So
I know.
Look at.
Yeah, I know it's weekend and people got to chill out here, but let me go here quickly before we make our last run here. The man from the far right, Amos George.
Yeah.
Is our esophagus here being pumped, ECOWAS shopping something in our throat in collaboration or in conjunction with our own people? And that's, I agree with the point. Why so soon? We usually we are independent nation. We can do our thing for ourselves, but we can't explain we are unable to put into context something that we will be in charge. ECOWAS facilitators or the people, they just want to come and be observers. They're not going to do anything. They want to monitor, and the monitors have limitation. They just want to see what they report. They're not going to do any physical intervention when it comes to the process itself, but they are at least coming out to tell us something. Are they shoving something down your throat?
They are shoving it down in collaboration with the government of Liberia. Some people. Edwin Snow is the one that engineered that interview. Edwin Snow. Edwin Snow.
Where you get your information from?
They said on the platform. The CEO or self called Edwin Snow that he made an arrangement, and the people in the president.
Okay, so he's a
he's a Liberian representative to ECOWAS.
So yeah, that's okay.
That's it. And why do you think they're pushing it? Because they want to rig the election.
Who does it? Who you think is going to benefit? The government or the how?
Mr. When there's not enough information, education to the people, the country is not equipped.
But the opposition, they are like this, quiet, muted.
Yeah, listen now, hold on now. We shouldn't go to the opposition here. The country itself, the ambassador spoke about some impediment, but they did not cite any instant. Comparing Liberia to other countries, what was the impediment of the other countries? And that compared to Liberia, that you think Liberia is not okay.
That was the job of the interviewer to push on those to
but
push.
These are something, but you see, again, that's a network to go. So these are, but we have to point these things out. Because if we say, okay, all countries have challenges, we agree. That's a general statement. But let's go to Gambia. What were the challenges the Gambians were facing that is much better than Liberia? Or what are the challenges Liberia facing is greater than Gambia? You can't just say that every country faces a challenge. No. You have to be precise. Give an example.
Right.
Secondly, why you think the government of Liberia, they have not completed this national ID card scheme? Because when everybody in the country have an ID card, that gives you an idea, ages and things. Because if I go to the election commission to register, all I just flag my ID card. That's all. My date of birth address will be right there.
Okay.
All these things are lacking. And now they're coming to tell you, oh, the biometric will have to calculate double or triple voter registration. And Cesar said, the question now should have been followed. So are you saying that? So you talk about Ellen Johnson's election. So are you saying that the election 2017 was also fraud? But you see, the person to go to get the interview, they gave them the pass. Probably the people who are there, they're working for some agency in the government.
Oh boy.
Because you cannot say that and people make kind of vague statement and then you just try to compliment them. No, I'm not there to compliment you. I'm there to get facts. So to get my informed information, education that they will know exactly what they are going into. This thing is not just being outsourced. It's been outsourced to manipulate and to cheat the election, to rig the election. This is what it's all about.
All right,
gentlemen. I'm from Sandy District.
Town Hall Scholar with us.
When you think no internet service, when you take the picture, when those people vote, how are you going to transfer that into the system? In the process, you don't think you're manipulated? Come on, man.
This guy, you see this guy, he's keeping time. You want to be a watchman on this network now?
No, Samson told me, Mr. So you know what happened? Samson told I will come to Sacramento, we'll go on the beach with myself, so we can have it there.
That job we are challenging here Costa.
Please, don't rewrite history on this. Gentlemen, I want to thank you so much. But I want to get to you guys individually or into the chat room. We're going to be on Sky FM this Sunday, and we're going to have some inside work talk before we go. But before we let go, I wanted to reach to this Liberty Park. Normally, can't guy how folks who were in the place here, but we're going to leave that way. Different thing here. Is your guy? Is Dr. Bweka? Is Bweka still coming? The liberal.
Mr. So, I don't know these people. They don't know me. I just admire them. I just admire the ambassador. That's all. They don't know me. I can't speak for them. They don't even know me. They don't get my number. Even George Lobo said, "You don't know me." I don't know these people.
What a wrong messenger to give the message.
I'm not a
don't know
messenger. I
the-
just speak because I admire the man. That's all.
And you sit down in
They say
public,
you
John.
vote 20 times. That way you want to tell people to you voted 20 times. Okay, gentlemen, Sister Goya, Dr. Toto, Amos George, the best political analyst and
But
commentator.
the question to you, Mr. So, why will you not ask all three of us for our closing and you let it
I'm
simple,
coming
right?
today. What's your problem? Why
Oh.
are you trying to be so controversial on this network? Do you want to have? I don't want to call anemia. You try to what? Are you imitating this guy to be another person to be creating same drama here?
You don't want to now go and care about son.
Able Joy, you and you can't go to play any cool because if you're playing you change by forget it. The next day situation will pick you up because you will confess. Okay, gentlemen, I want to thank you so much here. Okay, let's do the quick spin here. You can put it into context. They're like 1 minute each. Let's get our closing remark. But Sunday we're going to be here, but we're going to have a backyard talk, and then moving forward, we're going to do it. In fact, by the way, we're being told Mandela Cooper will be putting forward someone here. She's contesting for the presidency. I don't know how many times now. Why is a message not resonating? She's going to be here with me. That going to be a second time appearing. In November 6th, we're going to have that battle right here. I don't know why her message not going through, but that's a different boy being here. Amos George, what's your final message before we go home?
Well, thank you to all of you. And let me say this to the Liberian people. It is now time to keep the eye on the ball. And we should not allow the government nor any politician to use our people again. So this biometric thing, I expect the opposition to get on the issue very seriously. Because I don't want to wait after election and people start crying, oh, they cheated us. Oh, they cheated us. Tackle this power now and let ECOWAS come. Send them not put their hand in the pot. They must dish the fool here.
Thank you so much. All right, Dr. Toto, I know what are we taking home? What are we missing here for our viewers to get a good takeaway here for the weekend, perhaps?
I mean, it's a very good discussion. Maybe like usual, we'll have the discussion, that will provide some knowledge to our people. But I don't have enough time. I wanted to pick Boom ANC tonight.
Oh, ANC people not. Oh, George.
unless you don't come in, interview or our sister network.
Focus
on Liberia. I think COVID message have problem. A message that really moving the direction it's supposed to move. It's not realistic to the energy of the people.
Okay, so we'll wait when Jennington calm down, we'll put it into context. Because it looks like Sese is already giving it a support and he can't wait to unleash. Maybe we'll try to reach out with the coming folks again to have round 2 here. Now he's kind of like a guy heading the CPP, other side here. So we need to get more details because we're getting some other revelations here. Sister Goya.
Yeah, maybe I'm waiting for Jonathan to come. So because he must have went back to back, 4 to 4 under their chat. So I'm gonna wait for him to show up so we can have that conversation. Wow. Having said that, I want to use my 1 minute to push back on something that Mr. Toe said about the CDC professor. I think my own brother, Professor Zaulo Lapa, has unfortunately become he's become a part of the ecosystem of the political swamp in Liberia. Where on earth you find qualified, competent, credible leaders persistently having to take videos of what they're doing and put it on Facebook? The man is an education administrator. He got no business every time people try and go to visit him for him to be on Facebook. He posted yesterday, and I went on and commented that the student from some pipeline school paid an unannounced visit to him. You think people are stupid? How people try and leave from where pipeline? They come to your office. The teacher and 11 came with them. They didn't tell you say they're coming to your office. You're stopping what people trying it. He was here in America. He knew he cannot do that as an administrator in this country. Why you go to Liberia all of a sudden you become a somewhat of what if you become infested by the virus in Liberia? I am disappointed in my own brother, and that's me speaking as an educator, because I know he's an educator and he should be ashamed of himself to keep doing that. When you do work as an educational administrator, you speak to the press about what you're doing. How has it improved scores national exam? How has it improved reading scores? How has it improved math scores? That's what we want to listen to. Not him getting people trying to come to the office every time to do video just to make himself look like he's doing something. And now he's wearing a beret too. How did the educator become somebody wearing beret?
Oh, you're wearing a beret now?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, wait, I didn't see that.
So wait a minute. The liberal is having like a sour face. The liberal.
Yeah, well, thank you, Mr.
You started this whole thing here. You start calling him CDC professor, and he, as an educator, that's something provoked his anger. So you are the instigator in this whole talking. Go ahead, your last talking point.
Thank you and good night.
That's it.
Wow.
That's a good one.
The papa give out tonight. Wow. What? Thank you and good night. Ooh.
Fire your friend.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Mr. Joe, fire your friend.
Gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for your commitment to the community and to all our valuable listeners. Dr. Toto, Amos Joy, the Liberal Progressive, and Susie. Jennifer is not here with us, so please take it easy. It's weekend. Don't smash in, don't batch in. When he comes, now Sissy and Dr. Toto has teamed off from this Councilor Tiawan Gonglosa, Amos Joy, and Jennifer ANC. The liberal in his own world by himself.
But when you bringing that guy back from PLP that came that time, the Cassell guy, or because Cassell not coming again, so you're going again. You was supposed to say, oh, somebody, the guy came one time.
I call the man the bracelet. The bracelet can't get a call go through it. Yeah, but I reached out to CDC as well. The chair the promise. So I mean that's it. Liberty, how you call it, Liberty or what? Just a biker. I don't know who really to contact because they have multiple people talking for them. People that I know.
Or Mr. Toh invited George Lobo and the man stood us up like high school girlfriends.
You know what? Show out, but yet and still he admired them. This Samson Toh is one of those that are leading us into this pit. And then he comes back to say, why you don't know them, they don't know you, you don't get their phone number, but yet you sell their message. You become the time crier for them.
You know, something to I guess that was how we meet on the beach. Then we started anything you want for all. Then man come here, he called John Lobo.
Good night. When I start the show,
good night, Baba, your Baba.
Good night. I want to start the show again.
Yeah, Baba.
Okay.
Okay. All right, folks, that's what we do here. Thank you so much for the time this evening. All our viewers and listeners want to thank you for your comments. We usually go back to look at these comments. It helps to improve what we do. It helps us to recognize and mistake where we fall short. Don't hesitate to critique us. You can express your views, your opinions of our talking point. But we'll try to do the best we can. And we are reached out to all of these major actors because we want to look inside their political mind, their judgment, their calculations, how to go about to making decisions. And Madam Mandela Couport are going to be here November 6th. She's going to be my guest at 12 Eastern Standard Time right here on the Liberia Public Radio. And we're going to have a conversation. Why is a message not resonating? We're looking for maybe Unity Party to send a representative. We have been told CDC are going to be having someone here as well. We want to thank you so much for your time, your commitment, and the love that you continue to show for us. Join me this Sunday. It will not be on air tomorrow. We're going to be taking a break. But join me this Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. LPR, in collaboration with Sky Communication Network in Liberia, Incorporated, and a program, The Liberian World Today, which brings in top guests, technocrats, educators, scientists, researchers, professionals, nurses, teachers. We're going to bring all here. a greater segment of our community is being left out in the political discussions. And this is where this Liberian War Today Into-C come in to get the minds. Authors, we're going to be bringing in all of them here as well. By the way, talking about that, the bestseller here, Know About Your History, The Liberty Hijack. We are waiting, and there was a reschedule, and I soon will get a new date set. Liberty Hijack, the histories of how the loss of liberty divides Liberia, written by Kai Gerowle. It's available on Amazon. Very fascinating book that will give you the in-depth of your country, Liberia, and that's what you need to know. Until then, it's 9:53 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I want to thank you so much for your time, for giving me your ears, for giving me your attention, for being part of this company. We can't do this without you. Without you, we are just zero. And this is why your company is needed for the good of our country. We are just here as a facilitator, not to impose and not to insert ourselves into the story, but to bring it as it is. And you can make your informed decisions. Well, as a traditionalist and someone who believes in their root, I will be taking you as we go home in the interest of African solidarity. I'll be taking you to Cote d'Ivoire with his closing song. Until then, I'm Alfonso Z, and so have a pleasant evening. Bye-bye. And by the way, let me just tell you, when they say Bio in crown or enter the crown dollar, is someone like a warrior, a hero, a well-known person. It's not something that you can just go and grab. It's something that is being inherited. It's come from in the family. So, I mean, that's just the song. And this song, simply the nucleus of this song say we can do it all together. Let's hold together. We need to hold together as a Liberians, as a country, as a people, as a community, if we are to succeed. Let's listen a little bit. Former Minister Natana Falamagi, in his political resurgence in Mangibi County seeking political shelter, he will be contesting for the senatorial seat in Mangibi County. What the time has caught up with me here on behalf of our political pundits, analysts, contributor, the liberal progressive from Sacramento, California, Dr. George Toto from Pittsburgh, Amos Joy from Atlanta, Georgia, Sisse Goyo, educator from Minneapolis, and Jennington to Dolacat from also California. We want to thank you so much. I am your anchor host, Alfonso Zienso. Have a pleasant weekend, and please stay safe. Join me this Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the program, The Liberian War Today. Have a pleasant evening. Bye-bye.
Yeah. So, can you that fly, as I no, I'm about